Hello, everybody. It's Mark Ling here, and I've got with me a super affiliate guest. And what I mean by super affiliate is he's making thousands of dollars per week as an affiliate, earning commissions from other people's products. In fact, he's already made millions doing this, and he's helped other people achieve really staggering numbers. In fact, I've even built a website following his method, and it made quite a few $1,000s from it now. It's still on its way up, it's still growing, but it works. And in my site, as an example, it's just promoting some random products. I mean, it's promoting cold plunges, it's promoting pumpkin spice. They're the main two sellers on that site. It's not like it's in some classical niche because I just wanted to see, does this work in even some of the kitschy little niches? If it does that, then I know it's going to work for a lot of people because there are thousands of those types of niches out there. And so that made me think, wow, this is such an amazing method. I've got to get these guys on. So without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to Jason. Welcome along, Jason.
Hello. How's it going?
Good, good. How are you?
Doing good.
So, Jason, what did you used to do before, and what even made you decide, hey, I'm going to do affiliate marketing and I'm going to start earning commissions from other people's stuff?
I worked a lot of odd jobs. I worked as a janitor out of high school, call center tech. Right before I was doing this, I was working in a group home. I got hurt doing that. And then I kind of studied blogging. I'd spent some money on ads with AdSense back when AdSense was first starting, or AdWords back when it was 5 cent clicks, 1 cent clicks. I couldn't get that to work. And I kind of like spent a lot of money and learned a hard lesson with that. But other people had been making it work, so I kind of knew stuff was working online. But after I got hurt, I realized I was like my back was kind of against the wall. We just had two kids at the time, and I had heard about affiliate marketing, but I kind of started connecting paid traffic with affiliate marketing and blogs, and that's pretty much where I figured it out, like how you build these little sites that can make affiliate commissions.
Cool. And then you drive all your traffic organically, or do you do a little bit of paid as well?
Most of it's free traffic, like organic traffic, but we also do some paid traffic as well. That's for more of like the brands that we build up because we just want to, rank for our own brand terms and also just go after more traffic eventually.
Okay, so that basically, so people know what that means is, let's say you made your own website and let's say it was in the dog training niche and you called it johnsdogtraining.com. Then you might, if somebody actually got to know your brand and actually searched for John's Dog Training, then that's your brand. So you're buying keywords related to your own brand. So it might be a low number of searches, but those people really know what they're looking for, and hence, they're more likely to be a buyer as well, I guess. Is that right? Like if it's your brand, so you're trying to protect your brand, but also by doing that, it, I guess, makes you a little more valuable, I guess, if you're ever going to sell your website.
Yeah, it's also just more control eventually when you reach that level. You just want to kind of control your brand experience. So that's why you'd end up buying your own brand keywords
I see.
eventually.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because, yeah, a lot of people don't even think they have a brand when they just put up a 5-page website or something like that. But right from the start, I guess you don't do that right from the start, do you? You do that once it's making a bunch of money, and then you start thinking about things like that. Okay, so when things did kick off and start doing really well, how did you scale it? How did you take it from maybe the odd $100 paycheck here and there to making tens of thousands and sometimes hundreds of thousands per week? How did you move it from,
Yeah,
you know, little bits and
it's
bobs
kind of
to
a
bang?
simple it's kind of a simple equation. You take traffic from Google, Bing, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, one of the search engines. Usually we focus on Google, but Bing's pretty valuable too. People visit there, they land on your website, they click through to the merchant, which is the affiliate offer, and then they buy. So at the time, I knew that that was the simple steps. I was selling $20 commission offers, so stuff that you might see on an infomercial. I would sell that, get 1,000 people to the site a month, make a couple $100, uh, maybe make $1,000 in a month with the initial websites. And then I realized like if I could get more traffic, I would make more money. If I could sell a bigger ticket thing, I'd make more money. So I started kind of tweaking with that, and I'd find bigger ticket things that I'd sell or niches where I could get more traffic. So I just kind of started playing with the equation because I knew it would work if I could just tweak the numbers. And I eventually found things like gold that I could sell where you could make a lot of money with one single sale, or leads. You can sell those too as an affiliate, and you can sell those. Those are a lot easier because you're not trying to sell somebody a product. You're just trying to capture information and hand it over to the brand. So that's how I started scaling up, because then it was easier to make thousands of dollars a month or tens of thousands of dollars in a single day when you start understanding that it's the same equation. You're just tweaking different parts. You're just more traffic, bigger sale.
Hmm.
There's
So
multiple ways to do it.
you don't only make money as an affiliate then. I know it's similar to affiliate marketing, but you also get paid per lead on some offers where, someone goes and I guess they click your link and then they go enter a name and email address on their website, and you get like $30 or whatever that, some $10, $30, whatever that amount is, you get paid per lead, and they already know their numbers. So they probably know you behind the scenes. They're probably kicking you out if they're not making any money, but they know their numbers, and you're obviously fitting their numbers because you're doing things the right way. So that's easier for you to do your own calculations with, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting when you think that people are buying stuff online. That's one way you can make money, is you can sell other people's stuff as an affiliate. Or if you go just right before that, there's something that's called a lead in a lot of industries, which is a name, email, phone number, sometimes zip code. There's different things the companies want. And like you said, they know their numbers. So if they're buying leads, it's called cost per action, or CPA, is what that whole niche is of that type of affiliate marketing. It happens right before the sale, and the company knows how to close it. So they'll pay $10, some pay up to $100, sometimes much more in bigger industries. I haven't done solar, but I've heard that they're much bigger because they have such a large margin.
Well, yeah, and I know somebody that's making hundred. Well, I don't know if he's still in it right now, but when I last spoke to him, he was making about 600,000 a month in that niche. I know that's quite a big niche potentially, so I know
Yeah.
it can be. He was doing that with paid traffic though, but the same thing, like the same keywords that he was bidding on, people could be trying to rank for. But anyway, when I first started marketing online, the very first product that I earned commissions with, and I made my first, I think $450,000 online was made with this one product. It was a CPA offer. So I got paid whether or not someone bought something. So that was way back then. And that was quite rare that such programs existed then. But I found one, and I thought that's great. If somebody just literally just enters their name and email address and I get $10 for this, like I just couldn't really fathom how this works. So it was amazing, and I kept getting huge payments for a considerable period, and they probably still run that affiliate program right now. But I found other niches, and there's a long story behind it. Ended up diversifying, and I enjoyed cost per sale as well. Worked well for me too. It's just a different method, but certainly getting started in affiliate marketing, sometimes not even having to make the sale, is just enough sort of you almost find it hard to believe people buy stuff on the internet. So you find, I know people enter their name and email address, surely. So
Yep.
they might have had to have entered their phone number as well or something, but it was just an easier step for me to conceptualize when I was new. And then later I was thinking, they're not going to keep paying me these commissions if no one's buying anything. People must be buying stuff. So I'll
Yep.
try and just earn commissions from sales. And I went from there and started doing really well with that. But it's good to have both options at your
I
disposal.
felt I felt it was less intimidating when I saw that companies would pay for leads. I found out later that they know their cost per acquisition. They know that if they buy a click on Google, established companies know how many dollars they're spending to get the customer. So they're willing to pay an affiliate, a little less than that, because it's actually a better deal a lot of times.
Hmm.
So
Well, one of my friends that I got into affiliate marketing, this is going back over a decade ago, he tried online gambling offers back when it was legal in the USA. So it might have been even 15 years ago, whenever it was still legal, online gambling, right? And he would get $40 for everyone that set up an account, whether they even spent a dollar. They didn't have to be spending money. They just had to set up the account. He got $40. But they also had a 40% option if you wanted to take 40%. And you know what he did? He decided, I'm going to split test this. And he sent half his traffic to one link, getting the CPA, and half his traffic to the other, getting the 40%. And within 1 month, he'd made more money from the CPA right? Get it per sign up. But within 3 months, he'd already started making more
Wow.
money from the 40 percenters because they kept on spending more. Some people just kept gambling and spending more, and he got 40% of the profit of the whatever. I don't know how it calculates its profit, but of the profit from the spend. So, you
That's
know,
cool.
it's a safer way to think about it and conceptualize it, and to, especially if you're doing paid traffic, to turn it around and be able to reinvest back into what you've already done, like getting paid per lead. That's safer in that sense. But in the long run, they do know their numbers. So you may find in the long run, I guess, cost per sale may work better for you if you are patient, because at the end of the day, sales are being made. It's just that sometimes they just know their numbers and they know what they'll pay you, and you're happy with that. Great.
Yep.
But otherwise, cost per sale, because people ask me, why would you do cost per sale then if you've got the other thing? It's like, yeah, well, if I know my numbers, it actually makes me more. So that's why I would do cost per sale. But both are good options.
There's also programs that do both too. They kind of combine. They'll pay you on the lead, and they'll say we'll also give you a spiff, a percentage of the sale too. And those
That's
are
good.
usually pretty rich programs, so you can find them that do both too.
Oh, that's fantastic. And you're in, I know that's like one niche, but you're in like you quite a few different niches as well. And you've taught students across a wide variety of different niches. Have you got any tips for success that you think people should know about?
As far as like picking a niche,
Either about picking a niche or about succeeding once you've already got one.
I think the biggest tip for picking a niche is realizing that I kind of, when I was starting out, I thought there was only like a couple golden niches that were like making the most, like all the money. But when you start digging into a niche, there are some bad niches, right? Like pretty much you'll just see nobody spending money. You're the person experimenting, the guinea pig for the first time. Those are kind of hard a lot of times to make money, I found, if you don't see anybody else spending money on ads, if you don't see affiliate programs. But like if you go to pretty much any niche, you can make money in it. There's people searching in Google, people buying traffic. There's affiliate programs. So I would just commit to a niche. Like if you're going to pick a niche, like actually reach critical mass and build up to where you have enough traffic, and you see if it actually works. So I see a lot of people give up on niches though, and then they kind of run over to a different niche. Because I mean, there's so many. It's like you look around your house or your office or my office, and it's like there's niches for all the stuff, like types of books, paintings, everything. And you can always be picking a new niche like every day. So I would just commit to a niche. And then once you find it, just build full out. You need to know what critical mass is in the niche. Like what's it going to take to get to like page one of Google? Building enough. And yeah, that's probably the biggest thing is like pick a niche and then build up to a critical mass point where you can actually know more about the niche and make money in it.
Now, back in the day, it got quite hard ranking in the search engines. There was an easy time and then there was a hard time. It got hard because it was all about quantity of backlinks, and now it's gone the other way. I mean, I've put up articles on some of my websites that have zero backlinks and they're still able to make the top 10 in Google. Why is that? What changed?
Well, we went through a period, probably I started when I was 19, where it was high quantity of spammy backlinks. Any, like, pretty much any kind of backlink would give you enough to rank. I mean, you could make the spammiest thing and Google would say, okay, you've got a lot of backlinks, let's rank you at the top. You could rank really quick with that. Over time, they started, increasing their quality, and they didn't want that because anybody could rank with spam. They try to weed out spam. They try to give their users the best experience. So they started cutting down on that, and creating all these measures to spot spam, get it out of their engine. So now nowadays, like they've gone through a number of updates, but nowadays it's like higher quality, less backlinks, and what they really want is a really good user experience on your website. So if you focus on the people coming to your site and you focus on attracting relevant, just fewer high quality backlinks, like let's say we have like a toy Aussie, like a little toy Aussie dog. If you had a website about that, if you can get a link from a pet blog or even like a dog blog or even a toy Aussie blog that's about, in the same niche, those are really high quality. But if you went to, let's say, Fiverr and you ordered 100,000 backlinks for, $5, that's going to kill your success. It's going to make Google say, hey, this is the spammiest website. Let's demote it and not rank it. And then on the user experience, if you focus on how can I really help this person that's coming here looking for information, maybe they want to buy one of these. little dogs. What questions do they have? What question they have next? And you kind of live inside their skin and figure out how do you really help them. Your user experience will go up. Google's watching it like a hawk. They want to see people staying on the site. They want to see people visiting multiple pages and really getting use out of the site.
And I think they learned a bit from how they do with YouTube, because you don't have backlinks to your new YouTube channel when you go put up videos, but somehow or other you put up a bunch of videos and you start getting traffic and visitors come, because they do test a little bit. And I think the same goes. They might have some algorithm, I guess, that checks and it looks over and it thinks, oh, this is potentially good quality, and it might show it to the odd person. I don't know if it does it this way. I think it does it this way. I'm not 100%, because it definitely does it with YouTube, where it just gives you, let's say, 0.001% of the traffic that might be interested in your video. It might just show it to 5 or 10 people, and the average view time's quite good. Then it shows it to a few more, and then a few more, and next thing you know, this new video you put up on this new channel has somehow got 1,000 views out of nowhere, or at least a few hundred, or what have you. That's what happens. And I think also with the time on site, because they can tell how long people are on their website, because they own Google Chrome and they can see anyone that saw your site using Chrome, they're able to, I guess, find, hey, there's no content on this particular long tail phrase, but this brand new website over here has just put up an article on it. Maybe we'll just try letting the next 3 or 4 people see that article. Do they just exit straight away? Do they not? So I'm just saying backlinks help, but they're not everything. If your quality of content is there, you still have that opportunity. And then if people are staying on your page and all of that, and then that's where I guess AIs come in handy, because your tools and so forth are able to create quality articles, not just say a ChatGPT article that comes out and it sounds like it's just regurgitating everything that was in the top 3 results in Google. It's actually good quality researched information coming out that people are going to find interesting, because you're actually adding value, I guess, to the person's experience. They do stay on your page longer, and as a result, it's sending the right signals. Do you agree with what I've had to say in all of that big summary, and is there more that should probably have been said that I didn't say?
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely split testing. Google, the way I see it, they were the top dog for so long of a search engine. It was Google.com, and in the recent year or two, now we've heard about Bing, taking a shot at Google. They were the first to adopt AI. They're the default search engine in Microsoft and Windows. So it's like we're seeing Google have to kind of fight for user experience, keeping people in Google. So they're like doing exactly what you're saying. They're trying to make sure that their users are getting the best experience inside of Google, so they come back to Google. And so they want the website to be the best website. They want people to find what they're looking for. They don't want them to go off and have to go find some other search engine and say, oh, I don't know if Google's really it. So they really want high user experience, and that's how they're doing it. They have the ability to look inside of Chrome and see how are people actually using these websites. That's their browser. And so it's a big deal. And I think what AI has done is it's allowed us to do a lot of things. There's so many keywords that people are typing in. We used to have to spend, keywords are what people type into Google. It's the phrases. And there's a lot of the same phrases people type in, thousands of searches a month for certain keywords, hundreds of thousands for certain keywords. And we can really customize now. We used to have to gather up maybe 100,000 keywords and try to whittle down and see which ones are relevant. Now AI can just tell us, here's the relevant ones, here's all the others that aren't. With our content, we can make kind of these cool rabbit holes for whatever it is, and that people like going down. They want to, if it's the pet niche, they really want somebody that understands what's on their mind, and AI can help us do that. So AI has actually been really good for customization and user experience.
Yeah, you could be in the dog training niche, and maybe your main keyword phrase might be stop Scottish terriers digging, or something like that. I'm just naming one phrase. But you could quite quickly generate an article about how to stop Scottish terriers from barking, another one about stopping them whining, another one to do with grooming, another one to do with bolting out the front door, pulling on the lead. That person reading that first article is just going to be going through reading a bunch of other articles on your site, and then eventually clicking that link to that dog training product on that site, on that dog training site. I'm just saying that's what we mean by rabbit hole. You don't have to just put out one article and feel like, oh, I've got to write another one. It's like, I'll press a button, the article is getting written and researched and everything for me while I just go get a cup of coffee and come back. And when I say an article takes 5 minutes to get written, that's because your tools are doing more. If the tool was like ChatGPT, you could probably just type it in, press a button, and bam, it's written. But if the tool is going off and doing research, and then it's going ahead and collating, looking at the keywords people search for as well, and then it's collating a bunch of other stuff together, and then it's writing the article, and then it's proofing that article, and then it's writing, giving you the outcome thereafter. You know, there could be other steps in between. If it's doing all that, of course it takes 5 minutes instead of instant. But I'd rather an article took 5 minutes than an article took like that and it didn't rank, right? Or it didn't have a chance of ranking. So there's a big difference. It used to take humans quite a bit of time, even just to take the AI article, could take them half an hour just to edit it and make it sound like a human wrote it. Now it's like that's just part of the production line within. That's why it takes 5 minutes for your article to come out. If it's, you know, using your tools, the AI brain.
I think also if we go back to how would we produce an article like you just said, we would have had to hire a topic expert. So somebody who is probably be able to find a terrier expert, but maybe we could, but it'd probably be a dog training expert. They would probably want a couple $100 for one article to do everything you just said. They'd go research, they'd apply their expertise, they'd organize things, they'd draft it, they'd write it, they'd hand it over to you, you'd publish it. That'd probably take a week, maybe 2 weeks, depending on how much stuff they're making for you. And then they'd hand it to you, and that's what it'd take to get an article. So it'd be $200-300. In some niches, it's more. In the finance niche, it can be thousands of dollars to get one article. So that's what we've moved out of now. So I just see the barrier of entry has dropped for people that didn't have that budget to create even the content.
I think what it all boils down to, though, is you've got a very good system and a very good strategy. And it was already working before the AI, and it's working even better with the AI. It's just opened it up to people that have a little bit less time on their hands than you might have had. So you would have put in hours more time to do what you now can do in less time. That's all. So it's lowered the barrier to entry. But it's not like we're saying that the method as a whole has drastically changed. But there are more affiliate offers available, so that's a good thing too. But essentially, it's just more accessible, I guess. What would you say to anybody that was thinking of joining a call with you? Like you're running a call with Jonathan, and there's a link either below or above this video right now that people are going to be interested in joining on that call. What would you say to people that were thinking about joining it?
I'd say that after you get off the call with us, you're going to see these things around your house. You're going to go to the grocery store. You're going to see all these different products around you that are tied into these niches we'll talk about. There's affiliate programs for those. We'll show you how those work, how you can join those, and then how to have a website in those niches where you can be the one that's doing these things. You can have your website. People could be coming in, clicking through. They can have a great user experience. We really like to build these sites up for potential exits in the future too. So if, let's say you're making $1,000 a month, there's a multiple that a website buyer wants to buy that from you for. We'll talk about that too. That's really exciting. And you can have multiples of these. It's like multiple these streams of these income sites coming in. And that's the coolest part is you set them up, work on the next one, set it up. Yeah, if you are interested in that type of thing, that's what we'll be doing.
That sounds great. And when we talk about multiple streams of income, it's also multiple streams of traffic. Google, well, it's big for you. It's not the only one. I get a bit of traffic from Google for sure, but I get a lot of organic traffic from YouTube. So there's Google, there's YouTube. Like this method works across a lot of different modalities. You know, there's TikTok, there's Bing, there's DuckDuckGo, there's Yahoo, and then the list goes on. So fundamentally, though, the idea is that you're producing a bunch of content that's valuable to people around a certain niche, and a certain percentage, it just has to be a small percentage if it's a multi-billion-dollar niche. If they're spending money by reading and clicking something of yours, you're making money. And that's the thing. A lot of people underestimate how big the world actually is. It's pretty huge. So anyway, for anyone that's interested in this, I highly recommend you go jump on the call. And by the way, if you do end up deciding, hey, I want to work more closely with Jason on this stuff, Jason even builds your website for you, or at least his team does. So imagine that. Like some people, they've got his training program He's got a training program that comes with a done for you website and the tool, the AI tools, which are like having a staff member working for you that actually do the stuff, write the articles and all of that for you. So it's quite phenomenal what you put together there. So, for anyone that's interested in learning more about this stuff, make sure you jump on the call with Jason, and he's going to share with you a lot more detail so you can actually see on your screen what's going on and decide for yourself, is this something that you would like to do? Would you like to try affiliate marketing using organic traffic? If that's for you, definitely go check that out. I just want to say a big thank you, Jason, for being on today's call. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, this was great. Thanks for having me, Mark.
And for everyone listening, take action with what you learn, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now, everyone. Hello, everybody. It's Mark here, and I've got with me a guest who is making millions per year in affiliate marketing with organic traffic. So we're talking about traffic that is not pay per click, and he's actually able to go away on holiday, spend no money on ads, come back and find that he's got more money in his account than when he left for the holiday in the first place. That's the beauty of organic traffic. Now, I'm not going to say that this is easy. I can say it's straightforward, but I'm not going to say it's easy, because for some people it's easy and for some people it's hard. But he is going to share with you exactly how it works, and that's what's key. And if you think that this is for you and you want to dive in and get a bunch of free traffic, then this is how it's done, because you're learning from a guy that makes millions of dollars a year doing this as an affiliate. So without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to Donathan. Welcome along, Donathan.
Hey, Mark. Thanks for having me on here.
Thanks for being here. I really, really appreciate your time. Now, first of all, what did you do before you decided to start being an affiliate? And then I'm going to get some tips from you.
Yeah, definitely. So when I was in high school, I worked as a line cook. I've done sales jobs. I've worked in retail stores at Macy's. I've cooked I've done like a myriad of things in terms of jobs. I worked at an SEO agency, which is really where it sparked my interest, because I realized how important marketing was to these businesses, right? Before I went and worked at the SEO agency, I had no idea what was the actual driver of these businesses being able to grow and scale, get customers, have visibility. And when I started working at the agency, it really taught me that, hey, the things that I am doing at this agency are impacting these businesses directly in their P&Ls. And, I know you're going to get to the next thing about affiliate marketing, but that's really what opened my eyes to, hey, why can't I do this for myself? And that's kind of where I learned about affiliate marketing and not having to create a whole brick and mortar business to make money on.
You learned how to get free traffic from the search engines, and then you thought, wait a minute, I could just earn commissions from other people's products and do this for myself. I don't have to just get paid dollars per hour doing it for all these clients, so to speak. That was your thought behind it.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And I think for some people, I guess, and I'm one of them, I used to do SEO a long time ago, and I still got a lot of rankings today because of that work that went in, but it was harder back then. It started out very easy, don't get me wrong, like way back in the early 2000s, but then I'm talking like the 2010s. Then it got hard, and then it got easy again all of a sudden in the last couple of years. Got, because of AI, I guess, and I'm not saying we're talking about just some article that's just generated from, I don't know, Claude or ChatGPT, press a button and out it comes, that's going to work, because there's a little bit to it, but you can create quality content and much easier. So it levels the playing field. So no longer do you have to go ahead and either spend hours and hours and hours every day writing, or hire somebody and pay hundreds of dollars a week for them to write stuff for you. Now it's actually so much quicker and easier than it used to be. Do you agree with that for a starter? Because I know that's sort of part of the basis of what you do, I guess. And what are your thoughts on that going forwards?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest opportunities that I've seen in the current market is really the discovery, right? Because Before, I was solely reliant on either the knowledge that I knew or the knowledge that I could go and ask somebody else about, right? So, meaning if I wanted to go into a niche, say like dog training, I would either have to know information about dog training or be able to find somebody that knew something about dog training. And now, with the tools that are available to us, like we can almost be an expert in any space. We can learn about any space. We can learn about different problems that spaces are having and solutions that, find solutions to those problems. And so, like you're saying, it has become a lot easier, just because we can access so many more opportunities than we could before. So definitely
Right.
opening up a lot of markets to us.
And AI isn't just writing tools, just so people realize. AI can do research for you. AI can actually do multiple steps for you. Most people just do one step. They go to ChatGPT, they ask a question, and out comes whatever they're looking for. But that's not as efficient, say, as having like a production line where you might ask it for one thing and then the AI goes off and does this research. Then it takes that research and it distills down certain things, and then it goes and takes what it's distilled down and turns this into a little bit of a write-up. Then it looks at that and decides, hey, this looks a little bit too AI, and then it goes and changes that, and then it goes and double checks all the studies are correct and stuff, and then it gives you your output. That's always better, like when it's a production line approach and stuff like that. Like AI has turned into more of a production line approach or an agent approach. It's not what it was 6 months ago. Things have changed quite quickly, I guess. And it's opened up the doors to the little guy now to be able to compete with the big guy again, because there was this big period where every damn result in Google was basically like one of about 15 websites. You knew it was just going to come from one of those sites like medium.com or something like. Now, I also mentioned you're not targeting when it comes to getting rankings in the search engines. You are not targeting the short phrases. They are still dominated by the big companies, right? And even the longer tail, they're dominated by the big companies just because a lot of the little guys aren't putting out content in those spaces anymore. But you're finding, hey, if that phrase has about 5 words in it or something like that, you can now totally get ranking and get a lot of traffic. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think the biggest discovery that I've made over my career online, is you don't need everyone. I think when we first get online and you learn about, oh, I want to go into health or I want to go into this, it's like you think you have to dominate the entire thing to make money. And really, if you can find a pocket of traffic, a pocket of people, a pocket of customers that are interested in the products you're offering, you can make a lot of money. And especially if you choose the right niche, right? If you choose the right affiliate programs, you can make a lot of money and you don't need a bunch of traffic. But like you said, if you can laser focus in on the people that, maybe everybody's not going after, a small segment, you can really dominate that segment. That's a very small segment, a very niche segment, and make a lot of money. So I think, my approach when I first came in is like, oh, let's build these massive sites that just try to cover and dominate everything. And that obviously is not the right approach. And when you learn that, hey, I don't really need to dominate. All I need is my little corner over here. The big guys aren't paying attention to me. They're not even thinking about me over here. It just becomes a lot more exciting. It becomes a lot more bulletproof, if you want to call it that, in terms of not having to really worry about competition.
Well, you said the big guys aren't looking at you, but you have had the opportunity to sell a couple of websites, because if they do get to the point that the big guys are looking at you, now they're worth millions of dollars. So I guess that's the thing. The big guys aren't looking at you when you're making thousands of dollars per day, but once it really cranks up, it's not a bad thing. They offer you a bunch of money. You've got the option. Either you keep making your thousands of dollars, or you go, man, I could actually sell this for 7 figures now, or at least high 6 figures. I think that's not a bad thing either, is it?
No, and the market has actually opened up because there's now a lot more people that are investing in online sites. There's a lot of companies that are looking at, well, how do we don't want to hire a whole marketing team. We can't get third-party reviews on our own and put them on our site and like have the same credibility like an affiliate site. So there's even like big companies now buying the affiliate sites because they're valuable. They're pockets of traffic that company wasn't going to be able to access, and for them to be able to essentially replicate what my site does in terms of traffic and conversion, it's expensive for them to pay for ads, right? And so they can just buy my site, have an organic form of traffic, and access customers that they ordinarily wouldn't get to. So
Yeah, so that's really valuable. Would you mind sharing a couple of the niches that you're in, just so people have an idea and they could picture, hey, this is the kind of thing Donathan does?
yeah, so the predominant niche that we're in is actually the precious metals niche, but we also are in some of the health niches with like bottled water, hydrogen water specifically. And then we have a couple of supplements that we have found to be really good, especially for oral hygiene supplements, have been really good. And then just like brain health. So anything around brain health, mental health right now, the supplement market for those has been really good. And the really cool thing about those is you don't just get paid on the front end, you get paid as long as somebody continues to buy from that company, because usually those companies are doing subscriptions. So it's a really cool passive income stream just with those health supplements.
Yeah, and there's just so many niches out there. Personally, I've done well in language learning, wedding speeches, daycare management software of all niches, how to draw manga comics, learn guitar, learn piano, diabetes, a lot of other niches as well, wholesale sourcing and supplying, like you name it. Like there are, and there are a lot of niches, and I've only just said a few. You've said a few. There are a lot out there, and I think a lot of people don't realize that there are way more products to promote these days that convert really well, that people actually want and like, than there used to be even 2 years ago. Things have changed quite a lot because a lot of these companies are now realizing, hey, we need an affiliate program, because it's actually a lot easier if people can give us the traffic than if we have to have this extra market, another big marketing team out there marketing our stuff. So much easier just to pay a commission. So have you noticed that as well? Like that there's more opportunity than there used to be?
100%. I mean, because you think that a lot of these companies, when I first was getting started, like a lot of them had trouble putting up a website, right? And now everybody has a website. That's a standard. So like even, when you find trending products, as long as a company is essentially promoting their product out to the market and people are looking for that product, they're usually going to be willing to have an affiliate program. And even companies that, we see they're spending money on ads, they don't have an affiliate program. I send them an email or send them a message and say, hey, do you have an affiliate program? They don't have an affiliate program. They usually set one up. And it's usually within 48 hours that they're setting one
Wow.
up. So, I mean, the opportunity is just really great for affiliate marketers right now, because there's so many trending products, and with social media and everything taken off with products and brands, it's like it's an open minefield right now in this market.
Yeah, and search isn't the only way to get traffic, of course. It's one way. And you know the intent of the person because you know kind of what they were searching for when they found your site. But obviously, as you're getting traffic, you might get people. Let's say you could decide, I guess, to set up a Facebook page. You don't have to, but you could. You could set up a LinkedIn profile. You could set up a Twitter. As more and more visitors are coming to your site now, more and more people are joining your social media, and now people are finding you through social media and then finding your website, and then it goes the other way. So all of a sudden you're getting free traffic from all of these other things. And I think that's quite exciting. And it used to be very difficult because people would be like, I don't know what to queue up for my posts for the next 30 days and stuff like that. And now with AI, it can be done a whole lot easier. I'm not saying that you just go off and you just go to ChatGPT and ask for 30 social media posts. They'll probably be rubbish. They won't be the right quality. But, if you follow what you do and you use the right approach with your tools, it comes out being very, very knowledgeable, especially if the AI is off checking the news and doing some research as it's writing all of these posts. It ends up being that, hey, these are really good posts. I didn't need to do so much work or much work at all. I just need to be making sure that I'm following the system. I think that's the key, because there was such a long period where people decided, I'm only going to do paid traffic because free traffic is a lot of work. And a lot of that work is now way shorter than it ever used to be.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just spotting opportunities. I mean, we used to spend hours and hours putting together what we call the content calendar. And all a content calendar is it's like, okay, what post are we going to do today? What post are we going to do tomorrow? What post are we going to do for the next 30 days, for the next 6 months, for the next year? And we would spend hours on that. And I mean, we were very limited on kind of like the subject matter or the niche expertise because we're using our own brains. We're typing into Google and trying to see what people are searching for. And now, like with these AI things, they are incredibly smart. And I mean, they can hit angles that we
They can make the
ordinarily
content
wouldn't.
calendar,
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
up with the hooks, the angles. Yes, absolutely. And obviously with your stealth brain, like your brain AI brain that you've got that you guys use, and obviously your students use, it's able to think the way you think. So teaching even has become easier because instead of having to teach people to do all the steps, you teach people so they understand the steps, but you just teach them to use the tool, and the tool does all the steps for them so that they know the outcome and why that is better than, say, going off to ChatGPT and doing it in one go and it not going through the process, I guess. All I'm saying is that it's almost like you're giving them a staff member to help do the whole thing for them. But you guys also build websites for your students anyway. Like every student you take in, you actually build their site for them. So you build it, you put up the first 5 or 6 content posts, and you do quite a lot of manual work for people. Why do you do that instead of just teaching them and getting them to do that? Like you give them their starting point. Why do you build the site for every single student you take on?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest reasons is because so many people just have a hard time getting started, right? To go through training and then spend hours and hours going through training and then spend hours and hours trying to implement the training. People get hung up, they get frustrated, they get burnt out. They decide, oh, this isn't for me and all that kind of stuff. And so we wanted to decrease the barrier to entry for people. We wanted to give people something tangible right from the go that was built the way we would build it, even down to, okay, what niche should I go into? What product should I be selling or trying to offer as an affiliate? I've never done this before, so I don't know what programs
So
I'm
if
going
they're
to be
not
able
sure,
to
you'll
do.
choose the niche and you'll
Yeah,
get them approved by that program or tell them what to do and vouch for them if needed.
yep.
Wow, that's really helpful. So yeah, because plus also it is a lot of work though. It's a lot of manual work. So I think that's quite amazing that you do that for people. Now, I want to know, I guess, what just because people want to know about numbers and stuff like that. I know it's millions a year and stuff, but like what would have been one of your best weeks, say, in the last few months? Like what's I know maybe it's not your average week, but just so people can sort of be excited by what's possible, it'd be really interesting to know.
Yeah, so the space I'm in, it's more around deals. It's like deal sizes. So like a deal, we had like 3 deals close about a month and a half ago, and we did about 115,000 in that week from those deals
Wow.
closing. So
Wow, I see. I get what you're saying though, because you're in precious metals. Sometimes, if someone's going to spend a lot and diversify some of their portfolio into precious metals, yeah, it's tagged to you as the affiliate, but it takes time for that deal with that precious metals provider to take place. And then when it does, you might have a massive week, and then the next week I'm guessing you could make nothing, and then you can make 20,000 one week, and then 50,000, then zero, and then 100,000. Is it kind of like that in the niche that you're in?
it's pretty consistent in terms of deals closing weekly because depending on the
Okay.
affiliate vendor that we work with, like some of them deal with smaller transaction sizes. So that week, some of the one of the vendors that deals with larger transaction sizes, some of the deals just ended up closing.
But
But
there's
I mean,
always some money coming in. It's
yeah,
just some weeks can be 6 figures and some are 5, and that kind of thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's great. And that's just in that one particular niche, guys. Like it's different for different niches, obviously. But that's it's still pretty inspiring. What do people that used to work what if people that used to work with you, what do they think of all of this and what's happened with where you've gotten things to?
Like, what do you mean, like students or
Oh, well,
people
you,
that I
you said you
used
had a whole lot of
jobs
jobs
with?
in high school and stuff, and even people from the SEO company. Like, what do they must know that you've done really well with yourself and are continuing to grow. Like, what do they think? Are they inspired? Are some of them jumping in and going, "I need to do this too," or are they just look back and go, "Man, I wish I could do that," and then they're not doing it? Or, um, Just curious.
I mean, I think at first people don't believe it. And I would say if I was them at the point that most people are in their life, I probably wouldn't believe it either, right? Because it just sounds crazy. Like I grew up thinking that $100,000 a year was the most money that people made. I didn't know anything different just because of who I was surrounded by and the environment that I was in. And to make $100,000 in a week would be unrealistic. So a lot of times what I find is I have to actually show people this is it. These are the commissions. This is, how this works. People are very interested in the beginning. I would say that a lot of people are not willing to take the risk of being kind of an entrepreneur or independence. I don't know.
What is the risk? What is the risk? Yeah, I'm
The
just
risk
curious.
the risk to me,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't see a risk, right? Because they're spending 40 hours a week, maybe making 50 or $60,000 a year. Uh, it's like the alternative is if it doesn't work out, right? They go back to their 9 to 5 jobs. But if they follow the steps that I'm showing them, the likelihood of it working out is a lot higher than them getting an increase in their job,
Well, they're not
right?
probably going to quit their job, are they? They'll probably keep the job while they're doing this, right? So, in essence, the risk is that you're going to miss out on some TV time or something else that you do that maybe it could even be your time on social media. Because, I mean, these days you really can do this in an hour a day. It used to be that it took longer because you literally took longer to write the articles. Or you had to pay someone. But now, you know, using your tools, I can literally just type a sentence and press a button and come back 5 minutes later and find that my article has been researched and well written and edited for me. And, over 2,000 words, 3,000 words, they're really good. And I think that's the difference. You've basically made it accessible to people where I guess it would have been a risk if they'd been thinking, man, I'm really going to have to commit 2 hours, 3 hours a day to this. That is probably a risk because that's your family time. That's a lot of other stuff, The risk is
Yeah,
lower now, right? That's because it's a time risk. It's not a dollar risk.
yeah. I think the question that you asked is around people that I know.
I see.
And so like people that I know typically want me to do it for them. They don't want to do they don't want to do anything, or they want to partner with me, or they want me to just give them one of my sites, or just do that. So it's they're looking at it like they want to quit their job because maybe they don't like their job, they're not happy, and they're looking at me as I'm
I
going
see.
to do that for them. But like,
I get you. They're
yeah,
here and they're wanting to be here and they're trying to avoid step along the way. They're kind of wanting to just skip up very quick. Yeah, I know what that's
yeah.
like. I get what you're saying. And the reality is there are steps in between, but you've paved the way. Like you give step by step, you walk people through, you take people through with your training and so forth, which is fantastic. And it is relatively straightforward. So what I'm interested in is what are some reasons why people should join a workshop with you? Because you're running a free workshop where you're going to share with people in a lot more detail exactly how this works. Because it's one thing to sort of hear from us chatting, it's another thing to see it and to have it broken down properly, like in a structured training session. So what are some reasons why people should join a call that you're on?
Yeah, I mean, one of the main reasons that I see is just like turning how you view the world, right? Because with affiliate, you can start viewing everything that you do currently, like whether you're going to the grocery store, you're looking around your house, you start seeing everything as like, man, I can make money off this. Like this is just a battery charger that I use for my phone, but I can make commissions off this, right? There's an affiliate program for that battery charger, and I already bought it, so I can make money from it. And it's just like when you go into as a normal consumer, you're looking at, hey, I can just go and spend my money, and I get this thing, and it's cool, but now I don't have the money anymore. And now when I look at things, it's like, what can I buy that's trending, that's interesting, that I can, get rankings for and start making commissions for it. The other thing that's really cool about this training is we're going to show you how to spot these opportunities, especially with products that are trending, how to find, products that are trending, how to look at things to see if they're low competition or how to find opportunities that are low competition, which decreases the barrier to entry for you. And we're also going to show you like the best way that we use to maximize and optimize our sites to get the most commissions from it, which is like super important. So yeah, I'm excited. We're also going to uncover the tools that have been created through the course of us creating our strategy that pretty much automate a lot of the things that we typically had to do manually back in the day and took hours and hours and hours to do.
I know, it's
So yeah,
crazy
it's going to be
how
really
fast
cool.
things have moved. Oh, that sounds awesome. I think it's important that people also realize, I guess, that Google's not the only traffic source. It's just one that you chat about because it's a big giant, right? Google and by extension YouTube, because it's not like you can't just, because I get a lot of organic traffic from YouTube, and that's to me is even easier than Google. But and I give a bonus training on that to your students as well. But I'm just saying that Google's not the only one, but it is a big one. If you do all the work to get into Google, you'll probably find that you suddenly start seeing traffic from Bing and from DuckDuckGo and other places anyway, without even having tried to get the traffic from there. Just the work that you put in to get into Google, somehow or other you end up ranking in these other places. You end up turning your article into a video, and next thing you know, you're getting traffic from YouTube. You shorten it a bit, and next thing you know, it's in TikTok, and you're getting traffic from there. There's a lot of different sources of traffic out there. So I don't want everyone just to think, hey, the only chance is if I manage to beat people in Google. That's definitely a big one, but it's not the only one. And even within Google, there are a lot of wide search phrases. It's not just, say, if you're in dog training, it's not just dog training. There's stop golden retriever barking. You get what I mean? Like there's 500 breeds of dogs. There's 50 odd different common dog problems. You multiply those together and there's too many keywords that for everybody. There's a lot of different types of phrases people type in every single different niche that you're in. Not to mention the cities' names anyway. Dog training in Chicago, for example, as another example. So anyway, I just wanted people to realize there's a lot of little bits of traffic everywhere if you're willing to take on this approach. If you want to join us for the workshop, then it's either in the description below or in the link below. And Jonathan's going to teach this step by step. It's going to be a real eye-opener for you guys, and I highly recommend that you check this out. It's a really big opportunity. And I just wanted to say a big thank you, Jonathan, for everything that you've shared on today's call. You've been very open and willing to share what niches you're in. You've been giving really good tips as well. I really, really appreciate that. And anyway, I just want to say a big thank you.
No, thank you for having me on, Mark.
Thank you. And for everyone else watching, hope to see you on the call with Jonathan and take action with what you learn. See you next time. Bye for now.
See you soon, everyone.
Hey everybody, it's Mark here, and I've got with me a really interesting guest. He's doing extremely well in affiliate marketing, but he's doing a lot more stuff than that, I guess. And it's majority coming from free organic traffic. So, and what's really interesting though is he's taken things further as well. So he's doing well. He's doing over a couple $1,000s a day in affiliate marketing, but he does other stuff too. So he's gone, well, okay, that's great. I'm earning affiliate commissions, but also, can I make some more money by almost making up my own affiliate program where I have clients where I will just drive them traffic and they pay me for every lead I send them and stuff like that. And so effectively that's lead gen. That's where you, it's sort of like you're being an affiliate, but they didn't have an official affiliate program sort of, and you've gone ahead and made one of your own and for that client, and he's doing well with that also. There's so much stuff that you can do, and I'm really impressed anyway with what this guy's doing. So he's going to share and pull back the curtains on a lot of that stuff. So welcome along, Paul.
Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for having me, Mark. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being here. Now, some people say, hey, look, Mark, you're lucky. Like, yeah, you got involved when you were younger. You got involved at a good time, 25 odd years ago when the internet was a bit newer and you're a sort of a young upstart, 19-year-old or whatever, and that's easier. But you had 30 years in a career that was nothing to do with internet marketing at all. So you started off as a pilot for 30 years and had to deal with a whole lot of stuff from a health point of views, and not to mention sleep schedules and all sorts. And then you started very late. And you're like, in your mid-50s, and you're now doing extremely well as an affiliate marketer, like a complete career change. Can you tell me all about that? Like, what was it like having your old career? What made you make the change, and what's it like now?
Well, it was kind of forced upon me because I was just having successful careers as a pilot. We make pretty darn good money compared to like an average. Something was thrown in my way, and I ended up getting sick, and I ended up being on medical leave, and it was pretty scary because you got your family and all this other stuff, and I do have always been had a love for computers and integrations, and I saw that this was an opportunity to kind of move away. So as a pilot, I was away from home a lot. I missed a lot of family things. The part of it was great, the prestige of it, that all that stuff, getting to see all these places, but I missed a lot. And then the one thing that I had to figure out was like, one, I needed to find something where I could at least be at or better than I was before, because I don't want to go backwards, right? I always want to move forward. So I found like that, and I wanted to be my own boss. So entrepreneurship's always been a very strong thing for me. My father owned a business making space parts for NASA. So he really embraced that whole thing. So he was a survivor of Auschwitz. The Nazis taught him how to be a machinist. He turned around and brought it into a modern era and was able to be successful as an entrepreneur. So seeing that as a child, I knew that you got to take those downsides and take the lows and turn them into a high, right? So he took that skill and moved it on. So what I did was I took my time, which is not being able to fly, and to be able to really dive into something and really give it my all and my passion. And what I love about this business and this side is, people talk about this lap type lifestyle. There's some truth to that, but there's also a lot of work involved. But at the same time, I do have a travel bug. And so like, I wanted something where I could work from anywhere, anytime. Not that I'm gonna be sitting on the beach drinking a pina colada and not working, but if I'm in Portugal, I want to be able to I can get on my laptop. I can basically be anywhere. And that's what really drew me to this industry. And I'll be honest, in 56, and there's a lot of people in my age bracket that, have tried everything. They've just gotten frustrated. They've tried all these things. But it was just the perseverance and finding something that I could connect with, and then having great mentors, of course. That was super important. That was kind of the shift too. So it was like I had a little guidance, but then I was really able to drive through that. So I just love the online world and then marketing. I love the people and looking and seeing what people need and serving them and bringing them what I can bring them to help them better themselves.
So how long did it take from actually having a go at this stuff? Because free traffic can take longer. I mean, paid traffic, you can go out there and you can buy some traffic, and whether you make profit on your first sale or not, you're able to get to that first sale a bit quicker at times than free traffic, because it can take a while for, say, Google to rank your site in the search engines if it's through articles, or it can take a while for YouTube to start picking up your channel if you're running, say, a YouTube channel or whatever, depending on which way you're running your free traffic. So how long did it take you from the moment you started to seeing your first affiliate commission?
Not including all the mistakes. So like there were a lot of mistakes, right? So we'll take a couple years of basically a lot of trial and error mistakes. Jumping too much. I was jumping around between too many things and lack of focus. But once it came to actually get, and I will have to mention Jason and Donathan. They were kind of one of my pivotal moments where I was able to shift, because they kind of got the squirrel out of me and were able me to get my head straight and really go laser focus on
So
something.
you had a couple of years of sort of stabbing around in the dark, maybe while you were still a pilot and just trying things, and you had it.
Yeah,
You hadn't made a fail, and yet you kept going, and then
yeah,
you discovered them, and they put you on the right track. So
absolutely.
how long after you started following their method then did it take?
Well, I was luckily I was blessed to be in one of their higher level programs too. But it was literally after we tried like we the first month was kind of like getting a better idea of what was going on. But then we kind of got keyed in and drove forward, and then that's when I really found what I knew was going to work. And then from there, honestly, like, I think I wouldn't call myself lucky. There was some skill with the luck, but how I went about finding these keywords and doing the research for the SEO enabled me to find a couple keywords and things that were actually low competition but very high volume. And what I was working with was also high ticket, so that was also in my favor. And but that it was about a month of kind of prepping, and then once I dialed in, I started getting, well, some of the payouts weren't like when I got a commission, the government had to actually pay out the commission, and then so it could have been a month to actually get paid, but to get the sale, to be credited for the sale, it happened literally within a couple weeks. But I
Wow.
don't want to.
And by the way, just so people know what you mean by the government had to pay it out, I'm guessing that first affiliate program that you promoted at that time was one of those found money type programs where you got a commission if somebody found that they were owed money by the government or something like that.
Exactly.
But you got a commission on that.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So that was what. So it's related to that affiliate program. In case people are wondering why the government's paying it out in this case, most affiliate programs are paid out by either the affiliate network, which
Yes.
most of them are, or the company itself if they're running it themselves. Just so people.
Yeah. So it wasn't an affiliate program through the government. It was an affiliate program through an individual who we got paid by the business that the business got paid, and when the business got paid by the government, then we got our percentage.
Right. Okay.
Is how it worked. Yes.
I get what you mean, though. Yeah. Essentially, that's what happened. In terms of like I see, so you're waiting for them to get paid by the government, and then they paid you. I see what you're saying. So it was like a month to receive the commission, and it might have taken you a month to make your first sale once you started following their methods.
Yep.
Okay, so a bunch of stabbing around in the dark, and yet you didn't give up. But then not stabbing around in the dark and actually following somebody who's already got a proven blueprint led to you having success a lot faster. But there's a little patience there as well. It's not like it's a get-rich-quick scheme. It looked like you said, took a month to make your first sale, another month to get paid. It's not like you just get paid overnight or anything like that. You still have to have some patience with it. But obviously it's a system that worked. And then how long did it get to the point where you were able to make enough sales that it's enough to survive off it, I guess? So you could be full-time at this.
By the second months, I mean, you got to realize some of these commissions that I was getting were 10, 15,000 a piece. So
Wow.
like they weren't small commissions. So me, I tend to like to go after the high ticket. Well, even within about a month, I was sitting at 10K. Then it was like some months were like 40, 50 plus K and higher from that. But yeah, but it was, it was the downtime. There was a lot of time and mistakes made and time wasted and all the stuff before. So I wasn't like an overnight success, but what I learned was with the proper guidance and the right people in my court, that's what I needed was the direction shift, right? And once I got the direction and I had the focus associated with it, then it came quickly, but it didn't come easily. One of our favorite things that we like to say is build, 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 right? So it's all about building, and I when I started really hitting things off, I'm not going to lie. I kind of was like, oh, look at all this money coming in. And I kind of slowed down a tiny bit, but luckily I caught myself fast and I was able to, shift and then kind of get the ball rolling again. Because as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't come easy, but
No.
if you put the time in and you do it correctly and with the right influence, it's possible for anyone. Like I said, here's a 56-year-old with that inhaled toxins in a cockpit, and now I was able to pull it off. So it can happen at relative speed. It's not guaranteed to be that quick, but it can happen with persistence. I truly believe.
It's kind of like if you've got all these guys out there and exploring some new gold mine, all each to their own. Imagine there's no big company involved. There's just a whole bunch of gold miners out there, and you strike gold, and there's only you and a few other people around you. You want to just act fast, it's not going to be that there's no more gold left if other people come. It's just that obviously it can dilute a little bit. So you want to act fast and get that super profits through first. Like if you're doing well, really double down, triple down on that area that's going well, because there's normally a period of super profits for a little bit before it sort of levels out, and then it's still great. It's a solid business model. Affiliate marketing's been, I mean, I started in 1999, and some of the same niches that I was in way back then, I'm still in now. They're still just as profitable, if not more profitable. It's just that there were periods where it was easier. I just didn't realize it was easier until later because of my skill level wasn't as high to go with it. So what happens is your skill level goes up. So to match how much a little bit harder it might get in some areas sometimes, so that you don't notice it got harder, it didn't matter. Whereas a new person coming in would notice, hey, it's actually quite hard to do what you're doing. But in those niches, someone might say that in some niches you're in, but because you rose with it, you're fine. So you're right. You don't want to just rest on your laurels and say this is easy, because it might not be as easy 2-3 years down the track. So you make hay while the sun shines, but it'll feel just as easy if you keep evolving and learning.
And I came to the fact that, and like I think you hit the nail on the head, it's just like you can have your times, but sometimes you got to know when to move on to the next thing. So like that program, working in finance and in the financial, because it's in the finance sector, I guess, basically, right? So trying to rank for that and all that, it's hard. It's not an easy thing to do. So I was truly blessed to be able to have that opportunity. But I've always, like, ever since that happened, I realized that I keep my eyes open. Like, I have 2 or 3. I can't really talk about like all the niches I'm going into, because I do find some ones that are very unique that are coming up and coming now. But that's what I'm looking for too. Like sometimes you can follow in something that works, and then if it's a deep enough.
The broad strokes, though, are that in your preferences, and I'm not saying it's the same for everyone that succeeds with their guys, like with Donathon and Jason's stuff, because some people do it with different, like some people do it low ticket, whatever. But for you, your preference is the higher ticket stuff. Like you prefer the higher ticket, higher payout, so that you have to make less sales, even if it's harder to get a sale. Like someone else prefers that consistency of 15 sales a day, because then they'll just go up and down and they can just see those sales coming in. Whereas you would be quite happy to go 3 days with no sale and then make a $3,000 commission, and then no sale the next day, and then make 20,000 the next, and then one the next, then no money for 3 days. Or you're quite happy with those sort of bumps, but you prefer the bigger payouts. That's your way.
And you can act that way when you know your numbers, right? So
yes,
as long as I know my traffic flow is good and I know I have the right conversions in place, I'm not going to worry about it as much, right?
Just a little more patience. You can't just sit on the edge of your seats watching your stats and your numbers for the day and start panicking if 2 days goes through with less sales than the days before, because your averages are more either weekly or monthly, probably monthly, that you'd probably be more looking at, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. I look things, I try to, like, it's monthly, quarterly, and then yearly is kind of how I like to like break down where I'm heading for that time period. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to, not that we're going to necessarily say the niches you're in. If I do, it's by complete fluke. I'm not aiming to give away your niches, but just to give people just broad examples of high-paying niches. Just my own examples. For instance, there could be some internet marketing course that's being sold for $2,500 and you get a 50% commission, or there could be that you go into the finance niche or insurance or something else where people are taking out some big insurance deals or something, or it could be gold. People are searching for all this information about gold, and you'd be really surprised. Some people are, the moment they click your review and then they go to this gold site and then they put in $100,000 of, they might be a multi-millionaire, you don't know. So they might have like $10 million, and then they just happen to put 500,000 of that into gold, and you get whatever it might be, a certain percentage of that might end up being like $20,000 back or something. Those commissions can be very high because it's to do with finance. What a lot of people don't realize is that 1 in 63 Americans, and this is just Americans, this is not talking about the rest of the world, 1 in 63 is a millionaire, because they might know their own reality where not everybody that they know is a millionaire. maybe for some people, everybody they know is a millionaire, and they go, oh, what are you talking about? I thought it was more than 1 in 63. But that's a lot of people that have a lot of money that you don't realize are all out there and are putting, and they're looking to diversify where they put their money. And if you can just get a little commission on that because of stuff they were already doing and researching, that can add up. And then there are other places like, website hosting and stuff like that, where someone might be getting a web server for $200 a month, and you're getting $40 a month on that. But that person, they may as well have been a $2,000 paycheck, because 3 years later they've still got that server. You're still getting paid every single month, and they might have gained another 2 or 3 by then. So
I agree. I absolutely love recurring. Recurring to me is gold, because you it's not something, I don't need all the money at once, right? I love the fact that I know, and that's why I love my home services with my lead generation stuff I'm doing now with my agency and whatnot. I know if I get properties up, that they're going to be, and I find clients that are going to be able to buy, like a plumber, that are going to buy those leads from me. I know that he's going to give me a couple $100 a lead every single time. And if you give them that lead and they have half a mind to how to close a sale, they're going to be recurring for you for a long time. And that's where I truly believe that's high ticket to me. Like recurring,
that is high ticket,
is my favorite.
Well, the high ticket in that is that plumber knows that they're getting a high ticket sale. They might be getting $3,000, $5,000 a client. So that's the high ticket. You might be getting $200 a lead, but maybe 1 in every 4 leads turns into a client for them. So it's like you're getting $800 per sale in a way, if it's 1 in every 4 actually converts to a sale, if it was $200 a lead. And just so people are aware, like when you say that you're making over $2,000 a day right now, that's affiliate commissions. That's not talking about lead gen. Lead gen's, just another level you can go to. It's, you might be looking, going, oh, I wish that, I'm earning all these affiliate commissions, great, but I'm limited to what's there. I wish I could just earn commissions from local builders in my local area, because if I could send them tons of leads, you know what, you can do that. That's just a sort of, I don't know if we should go into too much detail. I think we'll stay away from it, but just to give you the broad idea that if you get to the point where you're good at making commissions, promoting offers that are out there and so forth, then you can take that next step and go, you know what, there's a lot of businesses out there that should have an affiliate program that don't, and I could just make it happen in a local area. And that's what you've done, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. And there's a ton of these lead generation things, and the industry is changing, because in January the government's only going to allow these 1 leads thing. So 1 lead, before I could get a lead and I could sell, I didn't do it because that's not my business model, but now these other large companies were able to sell this 1 lead, maybe not at 200, but maybe at $30 each, but they were selling it to 10 different businesses, right? That's all going away, and it's going to be 1 lead for 1 person, 1 lead for 1 business. And so that makes it much more valuable. So you can charge a higher price for that lead. And so now everyone across the board is going to have to do that. So it's going to be, all these other people are not going to be getting leads. So it's a perfect storm coming up.
So that's in every state in the USA, it'll be like that.
Exactly.
Right. So it's not necessarily every country, because I know, for instance, one of our students of another program that I'm involved in, he is in Auckland, New Zealand, for instance, and he does this. He went from earning affiliate commissions to go in, I'm just going to get some plastic surgeons, or I'm just going to get some weight loss consultants. He ended up going into a few different niches, and I'm just going to sell leads to them. And he will usually sell it to, I think, 2 or 3. So he might charge $60 a lead, but he'll give it to 3, not just to 1. But the law in New Zealand hasn't necessarily, I didn't realize people were doing it to 10. No wonder they put that law in if people were thinking 10, because that's unfair. You go buy that lead and it's already been given to 9 other people. That's, it's very hard in that sense. 2 other people, you'd almost feel like that's almost fair, because people need to shop around a little bit. Yes. But 10, wow, that's crazy. But still, just so people are aware, if they do ever go into what you're doing, it's not necessarily the same law in each country. It just depends what local area and jurisdiction you've picked. But USA sounds like it's going to 1, which that sounds great, though, for the actual user and purchaser. I'd rather spend $200 knowing I'm the only person getting that lead than spending $50 and knowing 10 other people have it.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is that it's gonna explode, because now The reason I got into what I love local so much is I used to own a health club, and then I got slammed by the big dogs, like the big box companies. And I went back, had to do bankruptcy years ago, like 15 years ago. So for me to see a business close down, a smaller company to close down, it actually hurts my heart almost. I mean, honestly, it really does. So now to have that opportunity where now all these companies are not going to be able to get this lead anymore, right? So now I can get them that lead. It's because all those leads are going to go to the big guys. So now you can actually help people in that market. So it's much bigger than just making money to me.
Yes, yeah, definitely helping the smaller businesses actually, because they sometimes they run a good business, but they have no idea how to get the clients. So they know how to serve the clients. Think about that local plumber that they've got a good plumbing business, they just don't know how to get more clients. It provides that opportunity for them. It's interesting. I didn't realize you had another business. Was that while you were a pilot at the same time you ran this health club, or?
Yeah, I had that, and then I also did. I actually, when I first did okay with online, was I had a business doing Amazon FBA back in the wild days when it was easy and not everyone jumped on. And it was easy to build a brand and make some money. So I did that for a little bit too.
Cool. So yeah, so you've definitely been around the block and tried a few things for sure, which is great. But this is the one that really stuck for you. So just so people are aware, it's good that people know like what each person's background is. That doesn't mean to say that you have to have done all of those things, but some of you guys will resonate with that and go, heck, I've poked and prodded at a few different things. It's quite interesting what your success is at this point doing this model. And do most of your traffic come through the search engines, or do you do a bit of video and other things too, or social media, or?
Yeah, I do. I definitely love social more for the back end, not necessarily for the lead, even though Facebook ads can, in certain niches, can work really good for this type of thing. I do dabble in YouTube. I like to use YouTube, believe it or not, for maybe like more long tail type keywords, like kind of like money keywords, and just throw a quick YouTube video out there, or like actually 3 or 4 into that area I'm trying to go after. And if I can see that I get a quick response, like within a day or two, I'm ranked on page 1 for that video. I know that keyword in that region is good for what I want to go for. So I use video kind of as a test. And then guess what? They're ranking, so you're still going to be able to use them as lead gen components, but that's kind of where I kind of get my feet wet, and I'll test that out a little bit and then kind of go from there. But basic, SEO is it's still king. I still believe it 100%. We have AI, we have some other things that are going along the way. That's why we want to put ourselves in front of people that are going to use that tool in our benefit. But SEO is always going to be there, and it's very solid. And the local is so much easier than any other market to do it. So going after a national keyword, you're going to get there, but it's just going to take a lot more time. What I love about the local is you can really narrow down and find those keywords in that area, or the sector or the region or the niche or the keyword that's going to work, and you can get quick wins, and then you can build on those wins.
Just as a quick example, I'll just use another niche, maybe one that you're not in. It's one I've been in for many years. Let's say you're in dog training. It could take you a long time to rank for the phrase dog training. It could take you even a long time to rank for the phrase stop dog behavior problems. That's longer tail, so it won't take you as long, but it's still, but if you're talking longer tail, there's two types. One might be stop German Shepherd digging. That starts to get easier because it's getting more sort of like there's hundreds of breeds of dogs, and then there's a specific problem. So, you're talking about like 10,000 different keyword phrases of different variations now. So they become much less a competition, right? But then you go local and you go something like dog trainer in Boise, Idaho. And then it starts to become easier as well, because there's so many different little cities and states and what have you, and even smaller towns than Boise. And that's where you're saying that you're going after. You're just going after sort of wider tail phrases, so lower competition. So you don't need to build up 500 backlinks. You could probably get away with 3 links or 5 links sometimes with
exactly. And and that's one of the things where SEO has changed. It's not all backlinks are important and they're nice and they're necessary, But if you're doing it in today's world, you can actually build your backlinks within what you're doing. You can build these silos out and you can have interlinking within your site that's going to give you that strength too, right? So
Yeah.
like that's where I go into. Not only am I going after like a specific long tail keyword, but I'm also going after entity, LSI type keywords, semantic keywords. These are all other words that Google's looking for, and you can use them and you're not spamming Google at the same time. So
Yeah.
like
So
you're
you're
not
using
putting,
them within your article and stuff like that, and within your website as a whole. So
yeah,
like if you're going after dog training Chicago as an example, then it would be kind of natural if one of your pages on your site was all about how to stop dogs from bolting out the front door, for instance,
exactly, exactly.
or German, or how to clip German shepherds nails or something, like those sort of semantic, but it actually helps your core keyword as well because of the fact that your site does what a site should do that is all about that topic. If it's
Yeah,
comprehensive, there's
it's
other
it's
ways beyond getting backlinks. And with AI, you can actually just generate those kind of articles if you do it in the right way with the right tools, you know?
it's everything right now. This is the, I mean, like I said about the lead generation, and that stuff in January, that's going to be the Wild West for that. I truly believe that because of the way AI has gone and writers and these things that are coming out now, it's giving the, because I remember I used to pay 100 to 200 bucks an article, right? And that's only like 1,000, 1,500 word article. Now you can like, and so you'd have to be very choosy about what you want. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to write this article on dog and Boise or whatever. But now, if you have a power of AI, you can write the main article and 5 supporting blog posts that'll connect to that, and you can do it as fast or faster than I would, because I used to have to get the outline up for the article, send it off to the company, wait a week, get the article back. You know how many articles I could do now if you know what you're doing, if you're using the right
And the
equipment.
key is the right tools. I mean, with Jason and Donathon's new tools anyway, you talk about writing the outline. Well, it's not like, say, going to ChatGPT where you go ahead and you ask for an article and it goes and writes it. This is different. This will be slower. You go ahead, you ask for an article, and then you go away and you have a cup of coffee, because what it's doing is it's writing an outline. It is now doing some keyword research. It is going ahead and doing some references and cross checks for quality of information. It's then going ahead and checking, does my article that I've just written sound, so then it's writing the article, then it's going to check, does my article sound too much like AI, or is it using AI-isms like, dive into the journey, or can I navigate the blah, 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 or it's not such and such, it's such and such. It's not just about how to blah, or it's blah, like all these types of AI phrasings. Is it using them too much? Is it not? And then it goes and rewords again, and then it rewrites it, and then it eventually it goes and checks, like, is the information, is it entirely, is there anything unique that most people don't know, or is this just like standard stuff that you would find already entirely inside the top 10 search results, or have we delved deeper or not? And then it goes ahead and writes that article, hands it to you. You could have done all those steps yourself, but instead it's done all of those steps, and then it gives, so it might have taken 5 to 7 minutes before the article came out, but it's done all of those steps, rather than going to, say, I don't know, Claude or something like that, and write this article, and 30 seconds later you've got your article, they're usually reasonably good articles. I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm just saying that there's a level of quality, I think, that's now needed for the new level. Now that if everyone has access to X, then you need the next level. And then, so that's also a big advantage. So some people either manually do all of those steps that I just said, and they will use those AI tools and stuff and use some other tools here and there. Or, some people will use a tool where it's all been thought out for in a sort of like a production line approach, almost like an agent in the background doing all those steps for you. So, yeah,
I'll be
I
quite
think
honest on that. I mean, I love that. I love that. I absolutely love that, because what I do say that like having AI could be super beneficial for what people are trying to do, but it could also bury you. It can take your site, if you sit there and just pump out stuff on ChatGPT, there are so many words in there that are AI words, quote unquote, that Google can read, and it's just going to see your stuff as junk, and you're not going to get anything. It's a love hate, right? So you have to be careful. So AI can be your best friend, but if you're not doing it right, and if you don't do it properly, it can bury you. Like you can have a site up, and and it could just trash it. What, like a couple bad articles that Google sees as, you know, like just crap, or just like it's like written like 700 times on the internet already. It's just
That's
not
it.
going to
It's
work.
not just does my article sound like AI, because you could probably use a big thesaurus and do all sorts of stuff to Google doesn't detect that it's AI. That doesn't mean Google likes your article. If your article only says enough information that is already contained within all of the articles in the top 20 search results, there's nothing new about that article. It will also, why would it put it any higher, or why would it give it a chance? You know,
It'll index you, but you'll be on page 8, and nobody goes past page 1, right? So
right. So,
what's the
they
point?
do need a little bit of stuff that it sees as some new information. And also, you need time on site. If it's a good article, people will stay on your article for longer. Google times how long people are on your article before they hit the close button and go to the next one, or something like that. How do they know? What if you don't use Google Analytics? They can tell because they own Google Chrome. They see how long someone clicked one link and then went to click the next one. You know, there's stuff like that. So it's important to have a quality article. Yes, AI can do it quickly, but it's just important that you're using AI in the right way. Is all I'm saying. Like, it's not just,
Absolutely.
you know, the simplest,
Like, it's
easiest
so
shove out
important.
anything.
Time on page is so critical. I mean, you can lose a site, you can lose a whole thing just over a backclick. If you're backclicking back to the SERP, Google's going to see that you did not serve that customer, right? That's what it is. They're a customer. They're Google's customer, right? So if they're going to your article and they go back to the SERP, that means you're not worthy of that position, right? So if you don't have the quality, not only for them to read the time, but also if they click back, that's just as dangerous.
Well, it's how soon they click back as well, because the average person might check out more than one resource, but you know, if the average person is only on your site for 15 seconds, that's not usually a ideal sign. It's the length of time, I think, in between. That's all as well.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, obviously you're doing really well, and you sound pretty excited about the future with all of this. What did your family and friends think about you getting involved in internet marketing stuff? And one, before you started it, and two, when you actually started doing really well with it?
It's a blessing, to be honest with you. I mean, I went from picking, my kids' birthdays are both in March, right? And I still, for my age, I have young kids. So 56, I got a 12 and a 16-year-old. So, you know, I'm not exactly a young dad, but the pain, because I'm working for someone else. So I have to choose my schedule, right? So I can't have both birthdays. I'm like, okay, who gets me this year? Is it going to be my son or my daughter, right? You know what it is now? It's both, right? It's both. It's
Fantastic.
the pilot world's all about seniority. I don't think I missed like 80% of the Christmases because I wasn't senior enough to hold Christmas off, right? So now I literally just got back from my daughter's soccer game. Yesterday I had 2 AAU games for Caden's basketball. I get all that. I get involved. I could never be a coach. I could never help before. I could never get involved because I had to be a standby. I had to be a passenger. I had to be looking in and just show up where I could.
Yeah.
Now I can be involved. And that to my family is absolutely unbelievable.
I'm here with you. I mean, like, if I was to, I coach a lot of squash, but I also, you know, like I'm always like looking at all this sports stuff, but I also help my son a bit with his cricket and going through, looking up all, keep on doing it. You know, you can put time into your not just time into your family, but time into their passions too. Like, you've not only got time for your own passions, you've got time and you not only got time just to be there on birthdays, you've got time to invest in their interests as well. That's extra time. That's what you really like, because that's what I think the quality time, that when people talk about they want quality time, they don't want just enough to be able to just rush there and be there for certain. They want to be able to have enough to be able to actually, you know, really enrich their lives beyond that. And then, you know, you're turning up to the soccer game and stuff like that. That's, you know, that's where it's really at. Beyond, I know birthdays and that are really important, and Christmas, but week in, week out, day in, day out, you want to have that time and not feel like you can't do that or feel guilty for having missed a bit of work or something.
Well, it's also about the time I'm giving them after I'm gone, if you think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I had a regular 9 to 5 job, even as an airline pilot, I can only generate so much for them for when I'm gone. So when I'm doing this, I have a chance to be able to give them a future even after, like a legacy. So like this is whole new level stuff to me. Like the opportunity is insane, but it does take work. It's not just here you go. You put the time in, you put the effort in, you have the right people to follow and not get all over the place with it. It's a wonderful life.
Yeah. So as we've said, this is not some sort of get rich quick scheme or anything like that. It's just a solid business model. I mean, for you guys, some of you guys, this will be exactly what you need. For others out there, this will be a shiny object, and what you really need is some other model. Okay, so just keep that in mind with all of these things. This is something that's worked really well for Paul. I mean, even myself, I do really well with organic SEO, but some people, that's just something they don't enjoy, and they prefer other models, or they might prefer a paid traffic model. I think another thing though is that some people, if you're already doing paid traffic, I usually recommend, if you're already doing paid traffic, you're seeing sales, then I usually say to people, put 20% of your time into the free traffic stuff, because then if ever anything happens and your paid traffic isn't working for any reason and you've put 20% of time into your free traffic stuff, then you've always got that to fall back on. So even if you're making 95% of your income from paid traffic, but that free traffic side just keeps on growing, it becomes a protection if it's not the main thing. Some of you guys, it's the main thing, and then I usually say to those people, put 5 to 20% of your time into paid traffic. So then if ever you're not getting enough free traffic, now you've got a little bit of paid traffic coming in anyway, so you've always got that going. So it's not a bad diversification in that sense.
And you can turn around and you could put paid traffic towards your free traffic and still get leads and still get traffic going to your search traffic too. So like I'll throw paid traffic at a Google business listing, right? I'll throw that paid traffic, so you're still going to have that chance to get that lead. So you're still going to get paid.
Oh, so to the pages you set up that were meant to rank organically, but it's still handy enough if you get some paid traffic at it too. If that's profitable, then great. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so Jason and Jonathan, one of the good things that they do is if anyone does join one of their programs, they also build the website for them. Not as in they build every backlink you're ever going to have or every page you're ever going to have, but they'll set up your website. They'll set up, your 5-page website, register have the domain and all of that sort of stuff. I don't know if they register it for you, if you have to register it, but they'll set up the bones of the site. So that's sometimes some people have some tech issues and they'd be willing to get stuck in. They just don't want to do that initial phase where they actually just have to set the website up, but they're quite happy to add pages to it or whatever. So they do that phase for people, which I think is really great. And another thing is they've got a free training coming up. And I think you must have started with one of their free trainings or something like that. I mean, everyone starts somewhere to actually hear about them in the first place. What would you say to somebody that was considering joining one of their free training workshops?
Well, the way they go about coaching, it's a much different strategy. Like you talked about shiny objects. I'll be the first one. I know all about shiny objects. So I've seen a lot of different marketers and a lot of different coaches and a lot of different people that put things together. And honestly, this is coming from my heart, is that these guys put it together in such a way that is there to help you. It's just like trying to get you to watch this thing. It's like these guys truly care and they're truly there for people. And they have done some free stuff. And I'm just like, I'm blown away that they're not charging, because I'm like, the quality of it is so high that it's several $1,000 course just on its own, to be honest with you. And that's something I've experienced. I've seen it, and that's why I've become so attached and really truly care about those guys, because they care and they won't feed garbage. They're not just going to put something together just to try to throw it out in the marketplace. They're only going to put something out there that's going to give value and help people move in the right direction.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I feel like if you're ever going to say no to something, at least know what you're saying no to, because at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt you to try it, at least see what it's about. Because even if it's not for you right now, maybe it's something for you in the future, at some time down the track, at least you know something about it. And for some of you, it'll resonate. It'll be a certain percentage of you, this will just resonate. You'll turn up, you'll go through the free training and say, oh, that's exactly what I've been looking for. I actually like that model. I like what they're going about. I like the kind of programs they're promoting. Like when I first tried their model, I built a little website that actually sold cold plunges, like cold pool, like plunges, if you know what I mean, for athletes and stuff like that, or people that wanting to, even some people do it for weight loss purposes or health benefits or what have you, right? Earning a few bigger commissions, and then added to that site some health product, like a pumpkin spice health product. It might not sound like it's related, but it's still people interested in their health and well-being and like alternative type stuff. And both of them selling really well, making a few hundred, like $500+ a week. And if that can work, if it can work doing like kitschy random niches like those that aren't even niches that most of their students do, it's going to work in a wide variety of the more classical niches as well. If people are interested in knowing, does this work in my niche? You know, it does. Well, it likely does. It's just a matter of, is this method one that you're interested in? So I highly recommend people join the free training, find out more about this method. But also, I hope you've been taking a lot of notes, because Paul's been releasing a lot of tips here on this particular call. Some people may or may not have picked up on a lot of them. Go back through it, take notes. Quite often you find that some of the things that you brush off as insignificant actually turn out to be, actually, no, that was very, very significant. Listen to the person that's already is where you want to be, and make sure, even if you've heard it before, that you're implementing what they're doing. Because if enough people are telling you to do X and they are doing X, then you need to really listen to that. Okay, and so there's a lot of good tips. And I just want to say a big thank you, Paul, for everything that you've shared on today's call. You talked about the high ticket offers. You talked about, the way you go about your keywords. You talked about your next level stuff with your lead gen. You've been fantastic.
Thank you very much. I love spreading the word and spreading the joy, man. I'd like to have people having opportunities like I had. So that's important to me. Keep moving it along.
Thanks so much. And for everyone, take action with what you learn. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now, everybody.